Good morning, squad. Welcome back to MadMizzy Sports Morning Show, the number one spot for everything sports talk, sports news, sports debate in the morning. Hope y'all had a great Wednesday. We got a beautiful Thursday rundown. Of course, we got to start it off speaking on Damar Hamlin being released from the Buffalo hospital, back at home with his family and friends to continue his recovery. Then we're going to speak on Lamar Jackson still not practicing for the Baltimore Ravens. What does that mean for the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs? Roquan Smith being paid by the Baltimore Ravens. What does that mean? Then we're going to speak on season-ending awards. I'm going to give out my season-ending awards of MVP, Defensive MVP, and Coach of the Year. Then to end it off, we're going to speak on NBA on TNT and touch on the games coming on TNT from the NBA tonight of the Boston Celtics at the Brooklyn Nets. Sad we ain't got no Kevin Durant tonight. And the Dallas Mavericks at the Los Angeles Lakers. Break down those games and give my prediction. Let's get right into it, gang. So to continue the update on Damar Hamlin, we had more beautiful news. He was released from the Buffalo hospital to go home to his family and friends to continue his recovery from a cardiac arrest that occurred on Monday Night Football, about a week and a half ago now. So yeah, just more positive signs for Damar Hamlin. Sean McDermott, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, said he is not rushing Damar Hamlin to come back to the facilities. He can come back to the facilities whenever he feels comfortable to come back to the Buffalo Bills facilities. I'm assuming that he'll probably be back soon. He'll probably be back in that facility tomorrow, so he can probably be out there for the game on the sideline. You get what I'm saying? I know I would be. If I'm back and I'm good, I passed all my tests. They gave him so many tests before they released him. Of course, they're going to take every precaution before they release him out into the public and send him home before, you know what I'm saying, we get any tragic news or any of that. So I feel like Damar Hamlin is 100%. He's back on his recovery path, and he's now on his recovery and rehab path to getting back on the field. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Damar Hamlin on the sideline for their Super Wild Card Weekend game against the Miami Dolphins. Shouts out to Damar Hamlin. Keep the recovery going. Prayers, well wishes out to Damar Hamlin. Lamar Jackson is still not practicing for the Baltimore Ravens. What does that mean for the Baltimore Ravens and their playoff future and they're running the playoffs? To me, this just means that, to me, Lamar is probably not healthy. I agree with John Harbaugh. I think that Lamar wants to play, especially in the playoffs, to prove his worth, but him not playing is still proving his worth, and I don't think he's 100% healthy, and I don't think he's sucking it up anymore for a franchise that's not willing to pay him. I'm going to speak on who they decided to pay, but they didn't decide to pay Lamar Jackson, who led them to, 3 playoff appearances over his 4 years starting as a quarterback in the NFL. Youngest MVP in the history of the NFL. So for them not to pay him, I think he's on some, I'm not risking it if I'm not 100%. So I think he's still hurting, still laboring, and he's like, hey, listen, I'm not playing. And that doesn't bode well for the Baltimore Ravens, seeing as they got a rematch against the Cincinnati Bengals, who they don't stand a chance if they don't have Lamar Jackson. It's just that simple. That Tyler Huntley is just not going to be the answer to keep pace with Joe Burrow and those cats out there. So yeah, this is not boding well for the Baltimore Ravens. But the Baltimore Ravens did make Roquan Smith the highest paid inside linebacker in the NFL with a 5-year, $100 million contract extension. Well worth it. Shout out to Roquan Smith, third in the NFL with 169 tackles this season, leading the third-ranked scoring defense with 18.5 points per game. So I think Roquan Smith definitely showed his worth and deserves that contract, but it's just a reflection of what is going on. You're paying the inside linebacker to be the highest paid linebacker in the NFL, but you haven't paid Lamar Jackson yet? Is Roquan Smith going to be the difference between y'all getting to a Super Bowl? No. We love what he's doing. He's bringing the best out of Patrick Queen. He solidified that defense. But listen, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs was worried about paying Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, over paying Patrick Mahomes. You get what I'm saying? Or any of those dudes, Chris Jones, any of them. You take what we offer you, but we're going to make sure Patrick Mahomes get $500 million. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what the Baltimore Ravens are thinking by that. I mean, that's dope. And, of course, Lamar is going to go out there and support his guy because that's his guy. And regardless, Lamar is going to get paid. I just might not get paid by this team. You get what I'm saying? To me, that's just a slap in the face. We're going to make Roquan Smith the highest paid linebacker in the game, although our star franchise quarterback is still playing year to year on a contract basis. He doesn't have a contract extension yet, but we're gonna pay Roquan Smith though. That just didn't make no sense at all to me. But shout out to Roquan Smith. Okay, it's time to hand out my MadMizzy season-ending awards for the NFL. Who's my MVP in the NFL this year? Of course, I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes, first in yards with 5,250 yards, touchdowns with 41, and QBR at 77.6 QBR, first in all of those categories. Patrick Mahomes led the number one team in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs, to the number one seed. So give me Patrick Mahomes. Defensive MVP, give me Nicky Bosa from my San Francisco 49ers. Led the league in sacks at 18.5, one sack off from the San Francisco 49ers franchise record that's held by Alden Smith at 19.5 sacks. I mean, dang, I wish he could have got one against the Las Vegas Raiders, but our defense, they kind of folded that game. But yeah, then 2 forced fumbles. I just love what the impact that Nick Bosa had on the San Francisco 49ers, being basically the foundation for the number one scoring defense in the NFL. Coach of the year to me, and I don't want to sound like I'm just being on my San Francisco 49ers bandwagon, but a lot of people are overlooking Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan to me is clearly the coach of the year. You think about 10 straight wins, second seed in the NFC, third string quarterback. Let's not forget, we came into this year thinking that Trey Lance was going to be our starter this year. He gets hurt week 2. We bring back in Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt because he gets hurt every year he starts. And then Brock Purdy comes in, Mr. Irrelevant. Not Nate Sudfeld, who we went out and we signed in the offseason and gave a little bonus to. We thinking he's going to be the backup to Trey Lance. No, Brock Purdy. And he comes out here and he's won, 4 or 5 straight games. So give Kyle Shanahan some credit where the credit is due. 10 straight wins. What's that? I don't think any other team has a longer win streak, more than 6 this season. 10 straight. We started our first 7 games 3-4. Ended off the year 13-4. Come on, man. Give the credit where credit is due. Coach of the year to me is Kyle Shanahan. In a close second is Brian Daboll. I mean, not even that close. You feel what I'm saying? Like you got Saquon Barkley and you pulled the best out of Danny Dimes, but Danny Dimes ain't really looked like a bum his entire career. But he pulled the best out of him. But to me, Kyle Shanahan is clearly Coach of the year. Now, before we end off episode 90, of course, I'm going to touch on the games coming on TNT tonight from the NBA. We got the Boston Celtics at the Brooklyn Nets, and then we got the Dallas Mavericks at the Los Angeles Lakers. What is my key matchups I'm looking for from these games, and then what is my prediction for the winners from these games? Let's start off with, of course, the first game, the Boston Celtics at the Brooklyn Nets. Just no Kevin Durant. That's a disappointing aspect to look at, especially with them being on a 12-game winning streak. Both teams won 4 of their last 5 games. It would have been just an incredible anticipated matchup to have them both on such a winning streak, and then coming into this game with possibly the number one seed in the Eastern Conference on the line. It would have been beautiful to see how those teams would have stacked up against each other. But with no Kevin Durant out there, the Brooklyn Nets are very much shorthanded. You're going to expect a lot from Kyrie Irving. That's the only chance that they got. But for me, following Jaylen Brown's 41 points and a win over the Pelicans, I'm going to see the Boston Celtics coming out there with a double-digit win over the Brooklyn Nets, 109-98. Yeah, I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are just on a mission to get back to the NBA Finals this year and finish the deal. So I see them coming out there, seeing the Brooklyn Nets as a top-tier opponent in the Eastern Conference and sending a message today that this ain't going to be no cakewalk in general, but y'all need Kevin Durant for any shot in hell in beating us. So I think that the Boston Celtics are going to come out there and send a message to the Brooklyn Nets. Let's move on to the Dallas Mavericks at the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. We got the Dallas Mavericks losing 3 of the last 5 games. The Los Angeles Lakers won 4 of the last 5 games. No Anthony Davis out there, but I'm going to still lean towards the Los Angeles Lakers because you got LeBron James, who's just been chirping lately about him wanting to get back into winning basketball and games meaning something, and he not just going out there and filling empty stats. So I see LeBron James coming out there, especially in a primetime matchup, and having a huge game with Russell Westbrook and all those dudes out there. So yeah, give me the Los Angeles Lakers in a 113-110 close victory over the Dallas Mavericks. I think Luka Doncic is going to go out there. He's going to do his thing. He's unstoppable. He's going to get his numbers. But I think that Russell Westbrook, LeBron James will be just too much for the Dallas Mavericks, especially being in Crypto Arena in Los Angeles. So I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Lakers. Let me know what y'all think, though. Damar Hamlin finally being released from the Buffalo hospital, being sent home to continue his recovery around his family and friends. Lamar Jackson still not practicing, recovering from a PCL sprain in his knee. What does that mean for the Baltimore Ravens and their playoff run chances? Roquan Smith getting a 5-year, $100 million contract extension, making them the highest paid inside linebacker in the NFL. What does that mean for the Baltimore Ravens, and how does that reflect them not paying Lamar Jackson just yet. Moving off of the Roquan Smith news, I got to give y'all the MadMizzy season-ending awards in the NFL. Who's y'all NFL MVP, NFL Defensive MVP, and NFL Coach of the Year? Then to end it off, NBA on TNT tonight, breaking down the games of the Boston Celtics at the Brooklyn Nets and the Dallas Mavericks at the Los Angeles Lakers. What's the key matchups in those games and who's going to come out with the W's? Let me know what y'all think. This is MadMizzy Sports Morning Show. Like, comment, share, subscribe, listen, alert. MizzyWorld Entertainment. Gang.